WYOO, Panama City, a Magic Broadcasting radio station. 101.1 FM.
We must stand up every day and catch the stories that others might miss.
And online with breaking news for Panama City.
There is a lot of that. You have the truth on your side.
This is NewsTalk at 101.
Really refreshing.
It is so refreshing. Like a sip of homemade lemonade on a hot summer day. Scott Major's with us today. Scott Major from Major Peruis and the Storm Help Team. Scott Major, good morning to you, my friend.
How are you doing today, pal?
Staying dry, keeping the powder dry. What's up with you?
Not much, my friend. Just trying to help the residents of the Panhandle get their money.
Well, what is the latest on that front?
The latest on the front is that we are making tremendous progress as we illustrate to the insurance companies that there isn't much reason for them not to fully compensate each of these clients for the amount of money that they have properly proven they're owed. And we've had a lot of success with that. In some cases, we have resolved without litigation, but the lion's share of cases, once we are filing suit, we are getting tremendous response. Now, some types of situations involving assignments of benefits and people who have given their claims to their contractors are taking a little bit longer because we have to demonstrate that there was a proper assignment and that the bill is actually reasonable. But we've had tremendous success. It's been great.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, man. I mean, you can only do so much. You can't take every single person in Bay County's case all at once. But I mean, I'm glad to hear that the ones that the people that you're working with. I always, it's funny is I get off the air and every time I have you on, it seems like every time I have you on, somebody will send me a message and they'll just say, hey, I don't call into the show, but pass along to Scott Major, thank you. And they'll either say thank you for all the information, thank him for all the information that he's giving, or they'll say, I use Scott Major and he's the real deal and what he's talking about on the air is real, real, real. So, and I'm not just blowing smoke. That does happen. It's, every time I have you on, I get a message like that. So it has been fantastic to have you on. And looking at the date now, it's October the 29th. We've been doing this for a year. And every time I have you on, every Tuesday and Thursday, you give really good information that people can use. And then it's also interesting, too, because I always learn something. We always have somebody or something that said... that's, you really, I keep saying this, you should write a book about this stuff. Should.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot to be, learned about this process and about just not only what you do after a storm, but what you do before and understanding insurance. And people have learned a lot in terms of what kinds of insurance they need to have. They've learned that they did not read their policy because no one does. They've learned that it's so important to just, even if you just take out a pencil or a pen or you turn on your phone and you say, what kind of coverage do I need? What things do I have in my home that I want to protect? What are the things around my home? A fence or a barn or a pool or pavers or trees that might fall in my house, a separated garage, so that I can make sure that my insurance policy actually covers those items. And just as equally, I don't have insurance that I'm paying for that covers things I don't have. I don't need coverage for a fence that is attached to my home when I don't have a fence, or I have a fence and it's detached. In other words, it just is around the home but not stapled to it, if you will. And by learning about what insurance I need, I'm able to get the exact coverage I want. In addition, people have learned that you can get just about any kind of insurance in any way you want. So you can go and look at your particular policy and have them write coverage in, that is, give you coverage, or write coverage out, exclude coverage, so that if you have brand new impact windows and you want to save several $100s, you don't have to get coverage for that. You got a brand new roof and you don't want to have coverage for that, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I'm not advising that just because you get something fixed, you automatically exclude it from your policy. There's no one is suggesting that. But the concept is that you can have the proper insurance agent, insurance brokerage, or other entity help you to get the right insurance and the maximum coverage that you need. You also can bundle your insurance coverage, that is your home insurance, your condo insurance, with your car, and it qualifies you for certain discounts. And so there are ways in which you can get exceptional insurance and learn what it is that you need through this process. In addition, people have learned that their insurance agent should be helping them. And if I had 100 people and I polled them, 99 of them would say their insurance agent is not helping them process the claim. And that seems surprising to many people. It's not because they're bad people. It's because a lot of them are fearful that they're going to bite the hand that feeds them. They don't want to go and tell the insurance company you need to pay because they're afraid the insurance company is not going to like them and might not want to sell them their product. Now, it doesn't happen in all cases, but I will tell you that if you asked every one of the callers how many of them have insurance agents and brokers who are fighting for them like they're the public adjuster, I'd love to hear who those people are, because I haven't met many of them.
Do these insurance companies, do they not train their people to have, on customer service? Do they not, you would think that would be a big part of their business.
You're collecting premiums from me. You're making money by selling insurance. You work for me. As soon as the storm came, why don't we have all of these customers, all of these homeowners, all of these condo owners that you know? Why do they need public adjusters? Why do they need lawyers? Why isn't their own insurance agent fighting for them? I mean, it's a simple and obvious question. Why in all the decades I've been doing this? Why in all the thousands of claims, why aren't I working directly with the insurance agent and the broker, not the public adjuster? No offense to public adjusters, but why do you need them? You have your own agent you paid money to. And it's just a tragedy that that's happened. And I'm not here to bash them or to bash other people. I'm here to just state facts and be truthful. The agent should be fighting for you. And I'm telling you, there are some out there that will. And so you can ask your agent when you buy your insurance, are you going to fight for me if I have a claim? Some will. Those are the people you want to put your faith and your money into. You're paying them a fee out of your pocket. They get a percentage of that insurance premium. That's how they make money. That's how they retire early, when they sell their entire portfolio of residual income that comes in every year. So part of this process has been a big learning experience. Who knows more about your insurance policy than your agent? The day after the storm, they ought to be able to tell you, hey, here's what you can recover, here's what you can't. I'm making a phone call because I got you the insurance. Let's go ahead and get you paid quickly. The only people who should be referring me cases are the insurance agent, the insurance brokerage that owns the agency. So it's just paying attention, just what we've learned this year and what the listeners have learned. And that helps everyone. And again, probably the most important lesson learned in terms of what you need to do is 6 minutes after the rain is stopped, you're dialing major. 7 minutes after the, rain is stopped, you're hitting the 844-800 loss number. Why? Because you're going to get your money sooner. Because you're going to get results. Because you're going to get an education. And it's not about me touting our services. I never did that during the entire 1,000 calls that you and I have been through, and many, many, interviews during this entire time period. But that's just the truth. And when people realize that, they'll realize whether they have a flood or a fire or an overflow toilet or whatever it is that's covered by insurance, a car accident, whatever it is, they'll pick up a phone and they'll immediately call us because everything that involves insurance, we can help them with. And when you hang up the phone, or when you turn down your radio after you've listened to that wonderful Scott Major and somebody runs a stop sign and hits you, you can call us too because we know insurance. Brian's handled 10,000 of these personal injury claims. So the concept is get people around you that know what they're doing so you can sleep the sleep of angels.
Yeah, are there, back to the, to the agent, are there companies out there that tend to have more helpful agents than others, or is it just sporadically hit and miss?
Yeah, when I talk about agents, let me be clear about this. So there are a number of independent agents, people you buy insurance from. Contrary to popular belief, they work for you, not for the insurance company. They sell insurance, but they work for you. Just like when you get a mortgage and you go to these mortgage brokers, they work for you, not for the bank. Now, you can go over to Wells Fargo directly and get a mortgage, just like you can call Geico directly and get an insurance policy. But the lion's share of people who are selling you insurance are independent insurance agencies. They're just like public adjusters in the sense they don't work for the insurance company. They just sell their product. And so those people work for you. They have a fiduciary duty to you. They have a relationship with you and are supposed to protect your interests at all costs. They often don't want to get involved in claims because they're uncomfortable about helping with the process. And again, like I'm saying, I'm not bashing anyone. You ask every one of the people, of the 1 million people who were affected by this storm, ask them how many people didn't need a lawyer or insurance agent a lawyer or public adjuster because their own insurance agent got their claim paid in full. And you have had public adjusters on here. You've had different lawyers on here. You don't have a whole bunch of insurance adjusters, insurance agents who sold you the policy on your show saying, let me just tell you what a great job I've done. You don't need lawyers. You don't have that.
No.
We wish we did, but you don't.
That's an interesting point.
Right?
We'll leave the phones open.
Right. You just think about it, how many interviews you've done, how many phone calls we've received. And again, I'm not saying all to anything. It's just, the reality of the things is they're uncomfortable in the way the process is set up. They should be helping you more. And it'd be great. What the insurance agent should do is make one phone call to the insurance company and say, I already sold them this coverage for this, and this is what the damage is, or I've got a reference to a contract that's going to help you. And if not, I'm calling Scott Major 24 hours afterward. Because what we'll do is we'll file suit immediately. We'll have the investigation done quickly. You'll get your money quickly. Listen, I hope I don't have to file suits. It would be great for me to get on the phone, and sometimes this happens. And they say, oh, my goodness, yeah, great, just send us your demand. Let's try to get this resolved. without a lot of fanfare. But I'm just pointing out what people have learned, what we all have learned, and how important it is for you as the customer, you as the client, to make sure you take advantage of the person who sold you the insurance by saying, hey, just help me to do your job. What did you earn your payment for the last 20 years for? Mm-hmm. You earned it not only by selling me the product, but by helping me getting paid by the product. You know, helping me getting paid by the insurance company who sold me the product. And it's not that difficult for them to do. So all of these educational things have been really great, Kramer, for everyone. And it's just important for people to have taken advantage of that. And I personally have been privileged to be able to share this intelligence and education in a field where 99.9% of the people out there, including numerous public adjusters and lawyers, don't know anything about this stuff or don't know what they say they know. It's been great to give clarification and education to everyone, whether they're using their own adjuster, they're using their own lawyer, they're doing it on their own, or whatever. We've empowered a lot of people, and we could stand proud knowing that you and I took the time to educate people by the hundreds or thousands, and we changed their lives for the better. And there's nothing more powerful than positively affecting someone's life.
Scott Major Peruis and the Storm Help Team, 844-800-LAWS. Our phones are open, too. Do you want to get on the air and ask him a question? You can. We'll be back.
We're politically right. They're politically insane. This is the Kramers Show on NewsTalk at 101. You're not dreaming. He's really back. He's really back. Back to Kramer in the morning on NewsTalk at 101.
Scott Major is with us this morning. Scott Major from Major Peruis and the Storm Help Team. 1 year ago, Category 5 hurricane blows through, Hurricane Michael. You've got businesses, you've got homeowners that are in disarray. You got people that are trying to rebuild their homes, their businesses, their lives. It's still a mess. Scott has been here dutifully to take your phone calls. So, by the way, if you want to get through, 850-233-9988, 850-233-9988. And you know, one of the positive characteristics when it comes to a good lawyer is giving out correct information and imploring people to listen and use that information. That is something that you do every time that you're on the air. There is always something to get out of a show where you're on the air. And I think it's important, too, to say that if you're thinking about getting an attorney, sorry to babble, but let me get this out. If you're thinking about getting an attorney or if you're having misgivings about that, I think it's nice to hear Scott say, yeah, we're willing to file suit. And that's where I feel comfortable, Scott will say. Scott will tell you he is a rabid monster in court. But a lot of times it doesn't even have to get that far, which is a major positive for you.
So no doubt about that. And I tell people all the time, the amount of cases that I have would astound you that resulted in either no lawsuit or as soon as the lawsuit was filed, they paid. Listen, we don't want to have to file lawsuits. We would rather the day or the week after the storm, them to tender you on all your money that you're owed. We would love for you to be able to have a contractor go out, tell you how much you're owed, and for you to be paid immediately without further incidents. Unfortunately, that often, not never, but that often doesn't happen. And as a result, you're faced with a dilemma, and that is you either wait, and some people did, till the insurance company comes back, which often results in something less than what you wanted, or you have to take some sort of action. What action is that? Well, some people hire public adjusters, and some of the public adjusters did a bang-up job and got people money. But we're still getting referrals from public adjusters. I'm still getting public adjusters calling me and telling me they have a case for me. It's now over a year. And they've tried, and they have not been able to get all the money. Again, I have great friends who are public adjusters. Most of the insurance salespeople love me because they can call me the day afterward, and they don't have to worry about any stress because I'm taking care of their clients. So this is not about critiquing or being difficult or somehow putting down anyone. It's about the truth, and it's about the reality that if you want to get the most money on your claim, you have to demonstrate the grounds. You have to provide all the pictures. You have to provide the proper estimate from a reputable person. You have to get the engineering if it's necessary. Every single person who's out there, who's listening to my talking right now, or has listened to me for last year, should know, go get your windows checked if you haven't done it already, whether you gotten money or not. So people have learned a lot. And all I'm saying is the more power and education we give to people, the better we are as human beings. And the more productive we are as human beings. And the more we can go to sleep at night knowing that Kramer and Major have made a difference in people's lives. And if we did more of this, we'd have less negativity in the world. We'd have less fighting in the world. We'd have less democratic nonsense in the world. We'd have less of this problematic create challenges, selfishness, and more of the generosity which we all need in our lives with our stressful and hectic lives. And so we play a small part, but an important part in educating people in a way that's helpful.
Scott Major, the phones are 850-233-9988 to get through and get on the air. We've got one or two free lines, 850-233-9988. You can also find Scott Major and Major Peruas on social media. Very easy to do. On Facebook, it's Major Peruas, Magerparuas. And on Twitter, it's Major Peruas Law. Quick break. Back with your phone calls. Coming up after Fox News.
This is the Kramers Show on Panama City's information station, NewsTalk at 101. Back to the most listened to morning show in the Panhandle. This is the Kramers Show on NewsTalk at 101.
7:33. Scott Major's with us. Scott Major from Major Peruas and the Storm Help Team. You got a question you want to ask Scott? 850-233-9988. 850-233-9988. Over the course of the year, we found out that, by the way, I love it when the insurance companies come out in the media and they say that they're 85, 90% done. That's way incorrect. Keep seeing that in the media. Love that.
Sure seems like there are more claims that are still out there, and maybe if you added up all the possible claims that could have occurred, and then you took payments that were made by the insurance company, maybe that would be a very high percentage. And so maybe if you took every claim that could possibly been filed, maybe the percentage is low, but let's understand what a low percentage is. If you had 1 million claims and you only had 10% remaining, that's still 100,000 claims. If there was 2% remaining, that's still 20,000 claims. So let's understand percentages also. I'm sure that the insurance companies have done a bang-up job with many people and have helped many people. We certainly have seen it ourselves. There's no doubt about it. But let's understand what we're talking about here and the reality that, we're happy that they continue to pay claims, and we want them to pay all the claims. But just you can play with numbers any way you want. The reality is there's just no reason not to make 99.99% of the people whole based on whatever their coverages are. So if they have sufficient coverage, they should be paid. And I'm telling you, from the experiences that I'm having here and that I've had in the past, that why is it that when I'm filing suits, they're now paying what they should have paid before I filed suit? I mean, there's something to say for getting a great lawyer involved, and we're really happy that we can help people, but it would be great if we could figure out a way to expedite these payments sooner to get the process in force. And I'm just saying, from South Florida, people hire me day 2 after the storm. We need to share that around. And any claim you have, get a lawyer involved early if you don't get immediate payment, just because you're protecting your rights and you need to be made whole. And just it motivates the insurance company to pay, because if they don't, there might be a consequence that is more expensive to them than just paying your claim. In other words, they might have to pay attorney's fees. They might have to pay both your attorney's fees and their own attorney's fees. They might have bad faith or multiple damages. I mean, what possible delay could be justified by an insurance company to not pay a year after a storm, to pay zero on a roof that doesn't exist? There has to be a penalty. And that's what Sheriff Major is there for. Yeah.
Sheriff Major. Caller, you're up. Go ahead. You're up with Scott Major from Major Peruis and the Storm Help Team.
Yeah, I was going to ask a pointer, man, make a question. And I have been referring people to attorneys since probably the 3rd week, because I realized, like Scott has mentioned multiple times, he can send down public adjusters to do that power and then also recover that money back. But I don't hear a lot of people discussing it. Maybe I missed it one day. In Florida, the 10% rule for public adjusting, but that's just for the first year. So now, after October 10th, now public adjusters is 20%. Am I wrong, Scott?
Don't have the answer to that specific question. Most of the time, the percentages of what an adjuster can charge are related often to the citizens' insurance policies, which are the majority of policies for people who had difficulty getting coverage. Adjusters regulated by certain laws, and certain laws prevent them from charging things, but other aspects of the law allow them to charge more. It's just they're not going to charge more because other adjusters will charge less than them. So the most important thing about what you're saying, recognizing what you have, is just, if you're going to hire a public adjuster, consider at least speaking to someone like us who can help you to make a good decision about whether a lawyer or a public adjuster is helpful, or whether you should, for free, lean on your insurance agent or broker to help you. I mean, I get a lot of calls from insurance agents and brokers that want me to handle the claim. So just be aware of your options, and you'll be in the best position to help yourself.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that third answer, too.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
Caller, you're up with Scott Major from Major Peruis and the Storm Help Team. Hello.
Hi, this is James. I have a question on my insurance company. They paid out $100,000, on my first claim, but it wasn't enough, and I got my adjuster involved, a public adjuster, and they did their claim, sent it to the insurance, and they never responded to anything. They sent it back again, gave them another 2 weeks to respond, nothing again, so they filed suit. And then a week, 2 weeks after they got their notice for suit, then they sent back a response saying they want to go to appraisal. And I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do, or even if should that be allowed, because they never responded back to anything that we're trying to get our claim, fixed, and they never said yes, no, or this is too much, or anything like that. So now all of a sudden they want to go to appraisal.
Sure. So let me help you with that. Sure. Good question. And
yes, sir.
every insurance policy, just about every one of them, has a clause that allows you or the insurance company to elect appraisal, which means you get an alternate dispute resolution system where you don't go to court. You bring your appraiser, they bring their appraiser, and they have the right to resolve that claim without having litigation. It's just important to recognize that if you want to challenge appraisal, that you need to have your lawyer understand Florida Statute 627.7015, which is a statute that says that if they do not give you the proper notice of your right to mediate the dispute, that is to go to a negotiation session, they waive their right to assert appraisal. So because the time is short on our call now, if you want to call me offline, I'll happily give you that information. But it's important to understand both what appraisal is, and if you want to challenge it, what are the grounds to keep the insurance company from going to appraisal if you want to litigate the claim and motivate them to pay sooner.
Okay. That sounds good.
844-800-LAWS. 844-800-LAWS if you want to call us, or you can ask your own lawyer about how to avoid appraisal if you want to avoid appraisal, which late stage I would recommend.
844-800-LAWS to get in touch with Major Peruis and the Storm Help Team. Caller, you're up with Scott Major. Go ahead.
Yeah, morning, Scott. This is Jim. I have a question. My son's got an attorney. They filed a lawsuit, but I don't think he's being represented properly. For example, he asked my son, give me a figure you're willing to settle for under your policy limits. To me, that's going in the wrong direction. But anyway, I was curious, what recourse does he have, my son?
Okay, so lawyers are governed by certain ethical rules. If you want to change lawyers, you can go to any lawyer you want, and then a new lawyer takes over, and the old lawyer can assert what's called a lien if they did any justifiable legal work for whatever it is they did. Oftentimes, lawyers won't fight that, but at most they have a lien. And then the new lawyer can come into play and help you with your cause. I can tell you that I don't know why you would accept less than what you're owed unless it is so close to what you're owed that it's worth it. So my recommendation to you is if you have a problem, first contact that lawyer and have them try to make the full claim. And then if not, contact the 844-800-LAWS number. And if you do that, we're happy to help you and educate you so that you can either make a decision to stay with the lawyer, and we'll tell you why there's reason to do that, or to go and search for another lawyer, whether it's us or someone else.
Okay. Well, you know my case. I'm one of your clients. One real quick question. I'll let somebody else talk. We filed a lawsuit on 3 October. They had 20 days to review it. On the 20th or 19th day, they requested a 25-day extension, which was approved. So after this, is there another avenue they can request another extension, something after this one, 25 days is up, or when does it reach a point where there's no more extensions for review?
So the way to handle extensions, and the way we handle extensions at our firm, is if the insurance company hires a lawyer and needs more time to respond, we tell the lawyers on the other side that it's no problem because they could get it from the court, but that we want a date certain that no further extensions are going to be permitted. And so we always tell the lawyers that if you want an extension, it's no problem, but unless there is some really serious circumstance, this is the final extension you'll get, and then you could put in what's called the order or the agreed order, the specific amount of time. So in the case of where they get an extension, you could say, we're going to give you till November 23rd, and no further extensions will be granted, and most lawyers on the other side will agree.
Okay. Thanks, Scott. Kramer, you guys have a
a great day.
Yep.
Thank you, bud. Appreciate it. Yeah, is that something that's that's typical? You know, where they come out this thing with an extension, and then they have till the 20th.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, just that they have until the 20th, and then on the 19th day they can go, hey, we want another one.
Yeah, the answer is yes, they can delay, but it's at their own peril because every time they delay, when you have a lawyer, the lawyer's then got to respond to that. He's charging for that. So the more the insurance company delays, once a lawyer's involved, the more they have to pay, because if they ask for an extension from me, I tell them, listen, if you just got the case, sometimes it takes a little time to get it from the insurance company to the lawyer. So sometimes that happens. A lot of these lawyers, there's a group of lawyers, say 10 firms that is handling all these cases. So they might get 100 cases, and so they'll call us and say, hey, we just got this case. It's 5 days away. We need a little extension of time. We'll say, fine, if you want to get an extension, you're entitled to under the law. So we'll give you an extension of time, another 20 days or 10 days or 5 days. But that's going to be the last extension you get. They'll all agree to that. And then they get a little bit extra time. It's not a lot of time, but sometimes at the beginning of cases, you see that lawyers get the files late because the insurance company doesn't process it fast enough. So it's a minor delay, but remember that when I'm handling that case, I just charged the insurance company for fees and having to deal with this extension, and that's going to be added onto the bill they have to pay. So it doesn't help the insurance company. It sounds like, oh, if you delay, it's great. Well, the more you delay, the more attorney's fees are involved.
Oh.
And so just understand that once you get a lawyer involved, everything that I do, I'm charging for. And if I had a perfect relationship, I would tell every single consumer to hire me day one and then let me hire the public adjuster, because then I could get the public adjuster probably paid for under the Florida statute 627.428 instead of the people having to pay for the adjusters themselves. But having said that, the reality is the more we litigate, the more we have to fight, the more the insurance company has to pay. And that's why in these cases they're calling us and saying, what's your number? Tell me your demand. Let's try to get this resolved. They should have done that in week one, but okay, they're doing that in year one, week one. A lot of claims resolved.
I like to get as many phones as we can. So let's try to do a quick one here before break. Caller, you're up with Scott Major from Major Peruis and the Storm Help Team. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Morning.
I had to get an attorney. I have a motorhome, and the problem is the general manager, they weren't paying. So Good Sam recommended us to go to them. I've had to go to Good Sam's and file a claim against Good Sam's because they promoted this insurance company. And out of all that, let me ask you, we don't have a court date until in February of next year.
I'm not sure what the question is, but I can tell you that as a practical matter, court dates are based on judicial availability. So if, in fact, there's some motion that has been filed or some attempt to dismiss your case, there's no reason in the world why you can't get a hearing sooner than February. So what other alternatives do you have?
They're saying, well, we're going to have to start subpoenaing people for testimony. What kind of a testimony would they be wanting when no one was there when Hurricane Michael came through? I mean, I'm a dummy, I guess, to this law stuff. But what are they going to subpoena and testify? Well, could you imagine?
Sure. The things that they would ask is things like, are you the insured? Did you own that motor home? Where were you during the time of the storm? How do you justify the damages? Where did you get the estimates from? Who evaluated your property? What specific pictures were taken? Are these the pictures which you submitted? What other damages occurred to your property? Have you taken steps to mitigate your property? I mean, I could go on and on and on, but the defense has the right to cross-examine you. But I'm not sure what the reason is for the delay till February unless I knew more information. So if you need help, dial the 844-800-LAWS number. We're happy to help you with, educating you about something that maybe your lawyer hasn't told you.
Yeah, I'm going to do that today. But I appreciate that.
Sure.
And I will be calling y'all. Thank you.
Thanks for the phone call. 850-233-9988. Got a couple minutes left with Scott Major from Major Peruis and the Storm Help Team. 850-233-9988. Be right back.
The Kramers Show. Unfortunately, we'll be right back. This is NewsTalk at 101.
It's the Kramers Show. It's NewsTalk at 101. Scott Major's been with us today. Great round of calls. One line open in the final 7.5 minutes. Robert, you're up with Scott Major.
Hi.
Good morning, sunshine.
Yeah, it would be if there was sunshine where I'm at. I'm up in Georgia, but I moved from Miami up here. So here's my question. I had electrolysis of the copper piping, and it leaked. Okay, we got that changed or fixed. They went through the walls and all that and put the plastic stuff in there. But my foundation did crack. So what do I need to do about that? Because at the time, I didn't really realize that happened.
So if you have something that is structural to your home,
Yeah.
you need to get an engineer to go out there and justify and support that, in fact, you had a foundational crack or other structural problem. And then they'll write a report that says it was causally related to the storm so that you can recover for either a total loss to your home if it has to be rebuilt or for structural improvements that will support the home and make sure you can do that. And if you have any questions about the type of engineer or whatever, you can dial the 844-800-LAWS number and ask for anybody there to give you the names of engineers that might be able to help you to support your claim in the best way.
Sir, this is a plumbing issue, not a storm issue. Like I say, how do you say it? They use cheap copper tubing or whatever, and it electrolyzed, and then whatever it did, and then it burst under the house.
So it had nothing to do with the storm?
And nothing to do with the storm, but they did take care of the piping, and they cut off those pipes, and then redid the piping with the plastic stuff. I have a well, but the water had leaked under the foundation of the house, the slab, and so henceforth it had cracked. I mean, you can tell, even some of the door frames are kind of crooked.
Well, the same situation applies that you have to have an engineer structurally relate that particular event to something that is covered in your insurance policy. So if you have coverage, let's say for a broken pipe, and the broken pipe causes structural damages, then the insurance company would have to pay for that recovery. But you need a professional, an engineer, to say how that water got to that place and then how it is that it affected the structural integrity of the home.
Okay. So should I call you guys and have you guys come up here?
Sure. You can dial the 844-800-LAWS number, 844-800-LAWS, and we'll either refer you to an engineer or help you with the remainder of your claim or do whatever it is that will make you the happiest so you can get your money.
Does it matter what time lapse took place?
It doesn't matter so long as you didn't delay in taking action.
Okay, well, all right. Well, I'll give you guys a call. I'm a truck driver right now, but I sure do appreciate your advice.
All right, buddy.
No problem. You call us and we'll help you.
844-800-LAWS, 844-800-LAWS. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of an odd question, something that like that is not necessarily from the storm, but a problem nonetheless. And you bring up engineers. Is it fairly easy to A, find an engineer here, and B, one that can come in a timely manner due to the storm and just the sheer volume of people that probably need them?
very hard to find an engineer. Hard to find an engineer who understands how to relate insurance. But that's mostly because they are very busy. There's a lot of building going on where engineers are needed. So the lead time is quite long. But you may have claims that don't require an immediate lead time problem for purposes of insurance. Or if you can fix your problem, the engineer can go out and pay you the problem. You could fix it and we can still recover. But we'll bring in engineers from outside the Panhandle if that's necessary in order to get the job done. Yesterday, we just referred in an engineer from, a different part of Florida in order to get up there quick enough to handle a particular claim for a client. So the whole key is get going, get education, get the support you need so you can make your claim.
Hey, let me tell you something. If you're a young person who is trying to think of what you want to do with the rest of your life and say that maybe you're not quite enough to be a Scott Major and be an attorney, hey, go and become an engineer. Because those guys, they make great money, they have a great job,
yep.
and they are absolutely needed. Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine?
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% correct.
Scott Major Peruis and the Storm Help Team, 844-800-LAWS, 844-800-LAWS. And you can find them, too, on social media, on Facebook at Major, M-A-G-E-R, Peruis, P-A-R-U-A-S, Major Peruis, hashtag I Love Julie, and on Twitter at Major Peruis Law. All right, great hour, lots of good calls. As always, Scott Major, thank you so much for being on, bud.
Hey, thanks for all you do for the community, man. You have a great day and be well.
You be well. I'll talk to you soon.
See you tomorrow.
There he is, Scott Major from Major Peruis and the Storm Help Team. Hour 3, coming up next. Stand by.
This is the Kramers Show. The phone is now open, and the phone operators are standing by. 850-233-9988. This is Panama City's new #1 king of morning radio. This is Kramer.